Second nature for children is in the building. Family, I hope everyone is doing well. Today is serious. Let's address the elephant in the room just for a moment. So as you come in, my Facebook family, make sure you go over to YouTube, subscribe, share, hit that thumbs up, and we got to make sure we move this information because sometimes depending on the algorithm of how YouTube move it or how Facebook move it, we can't depend on them to move it. We have to move this information to us and for us as a people. We got to help ourselves and we got to help our people. We need help. Today I just want to chop it up with you a little bit about something that's been plaguing the black community for a long time, for a very long time. And I just want to talk to you about how to overcome addiction. How to overcome addiction, definitely in the black community. We must address mental health. And coming up through the years, I can see as a child up to this point where we haven't been addressing our mental health. And so now it's time because there's a lot of things that's been going on in the black community and that's going on today that you may not understand what it is or what the problem is, but it's our mental health. And we must address it and we must look at it and look at ourselves. And I promise you, family, you know someone who need to hear this information. You know a couple of people, even yourself, need to hear this information. So let's deal with how to overcome addictions. And we know we got all different types of addictions. We know that. So we're going to deal with alcoholics. We're going to deal with drugs. We're going to deal with eating. We're going to deal and how I'm going to connect this. You'll be able to, whatever your addiction is, you'll be able to get a better understanding of why you're going through what you're going through as well. Because one of the best things in life to have is an understanding. And one of the worst things to have is a misunderstanding. Make sure you get that right there. So listen, an addict is a person who's a slave to a habit, especially to the excessiveness of drugs. And we're going to just deal with drugs because let's just take it back to our community and let's just deal with drugs, alcohol, food, and whatever, like I said, your addiction may be. I'll still be able to connect it at the end to show you how to overcome it. And when we're dealing with a slave, we'll take the second definition because it goes with what we're talking about. And we're talking about a person who was controlled and ruled by some desire or habit or influence. Let's deal with mental health today. We must address mental health. I deal with connecting the mind, the body, and the soul together for optimal success. And I've developed a program called Complete Wellness. And as I look around, I see I don't care if you're making good money, but if you're overweight, you're not working on your complete wellness. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that you learn how to balance your life in those three areas that we've been hearing about for so long. And as a people, we're off, we're off balance. I see that. So let's address, let's do it. How to overcome addiction. Do I have a disorder? Do I have a illness? Or am I dealing with issues? Why am I drinking so much? Why am I eating so much? Why am I smoking so much? Why am I doing so much of self destructing? There's a reason, there's a cause, and there's a why. Have you ever sit down and thought about why am I doing this so much if I know it's not good for me? What's the cause of me to be doing this? Or what's the reason that I'm doing it? Family, I'm gonna have to slow down just for a second because I want you to get this right here. This hurting us. It's hurting a lot of us because I've been dealing with this and dealing with us over 3 decades within these three areas, and that's why now I'm bringing it up so we can address this. Something is going on wrong psychologically with a lot of us, and let me explain something to you. You will never be able to correct your error until you admit that something is wrong. And then you can either get help or you can begin to help yourself. But the first thing you have to do is you have to learn and you have to admit that something is wrong. Why am I addicted? Why am I struggling so much? And to keep it very simple, you could be going through a biological factor where it could be in your genes, or you could something could be going on with your brain chemically wise, where you may need to be medicated. But when I was coming up, when we was going through different things, we didn't go see a psychiatrist or we didn't have anyone that we could go talk to that helps our mental state, and we're suffering from that now as we have gotten older. Well, we should have got help when we was younger. We didn't get that help. So there's a reason, there's a cause, and there's a why we're drinking so much, we're smoking so much, we're eating so much. Something is going on wrong psychologically, and it could be some type of chemically brain unbalance that we need to address. This serious, family. It could be some type of life experience, such as some type of trauma or abuse that we're trying to suppress, that we're trying to escape from mentally. And we're wondering why we're drinking, why we're smoking, why we're doing this, why we're doing that, why we're self destructing, because psychologically something has happened to us in our past that we haven't dealt with yet. But we're going to talk about how to overcome it. It could be a family history of mental health problems. Do you know of your grandparents, your mother, your father having mental issues? Could come from there. But there's a problem in the black community. Do you have a mental disorder, mood swings, post traumatic stress? Is that going on? Some type of anxiety going on in your life? Personality disorder? Something to think about. We got to begin to address our mental health. Do you have bipolar, Tourette's? Do you have some type of mental disorder? Or are you dealing with some type of mental illness that you haven't addressed where your personality constantly is changing and you have a sudden absence of self care? You're not taking care of yourself. Is something going on? Do you have a sense of hopelessness or just feeling overwhelmed? It's just too much going on for you and you're not doing well. So you're trying to drink or you're trying to smoke or you're trying to eat to escape. Family, we haven't been addressing mental health in the black community. It's time to start. There's no reason for us to be overweight or obese and we're not doing anything to try to help ourselves. Something is wrong mentally. To be unconscious to all you have is your life, your health. Your health is your wealth. But we're so focused and caught up on trying to just make money, money, money. And I want you to get that money. But I want you to make sure that you prioritize things in your life to make sure that once you get the money, you're able to enjoy the money because you're doing well physically and spiritually. Do you have mental issues? Are you dealing with something from your past? Are you dealing with bad relationships? Do you keep making bad decisions? What's going on mentally? When we're dealing with addictions, family, we're dealing with our mental state. Something is going on psychologically that we haven't addressed. But now it's time to address it. Slow down and think about it just for a second. So, how do we overcome it? This is how we overcome addiction. We have to learn how to connect our brain and our heart together. If you was going to a psychiatrist, then you'll be getting this information. By you not going to a psychiatrist or by you not seeking help and by you not doing study to see what's wrong, you just keep going on and things are getting worse. But you have to learn how to connect your mental to your spirit. First, you got to find out what's your cause. This is why you go see someone. Because when you sit down and talk to them, they'll go back in your past because they're trying to find out what could trigger why you're doing what you're doing. But since we don't have the $400,000, $500,000 an hour to go sit on no one couch, we got to figure it out, family. We got to figure it out. So whatever your issue is, you got to sit down. If you need my help, snfchildren@gmail.com. And if I need to move you to some other people that I have association with, then I will. But we need to figure out what's going on with you mentally. Why you're drinking so much, why you smoking so much. When you look into the black community, when you see it, I want to make sure that you have an understanding. I understand what's going on, why he or she is doing this or why they're doing that, because something is wrong here, or they experienced something in their past, but they're dealing with something psychologically that's not right, that haven't been addressed, that we haven't been addressing in the black community. When it comes to your mind, you have to make sure that whatever it is you want to be successful at, if you want to overcome something, you have to be clear about it. You have to learn how to activate your brain. First of all, you have to begin to have positive thoughts. You have to learn how to let go and heal from your past experiences. You may have to get help. But you got to learn how to let things go. You got to learn how to make good decisions. It starts up here. You got to learn how to let a lot of mess go. Because if you don't, it's going to stress you out. It's going to make you depressed. And then that's where your drugs and alcohol and things like that, because now you're trying to escape. We got to address it, family. I hope you share this information. If you don't, shame on you. You know someone that's struggling. The brain is a achieving machine. So it starts right here. And you got to be able to define, you got to be able to imagine or envision what it is that you want. First, you got to want to do better. You got to want better for yourself. You have to admit first you have a problem. Then you can go to work mentally, working on it. And if you see that you need help, then you need to get help. And you have to learn how to take that brain as your bringing positive thoughts and learning how to activate that brain. You have to connect that brain to your heart. Some would call it your soul, your spirit, that which dwells within you. You have to make sure that you learn how to connect your brain and your heart together because it's your heart, the things that dwell within you, your discipline, your tenacity, your love for yourself, that self control, your consistency, your principles comes from within you. You may need help, family, because there's a problem that we're dealing with. And I'm talking about the Black community. I'm talking about my focus area. And I'm definitely talking about we need to come together. We need to help ourselves so we can help our children because second nature is for children. And I teach our youth these things. So whatever they're dealing with now, it's time to address it now. So as they become adults, they can live a more healthy and productive life. A lot of us are not healthy or productive because of our past and things that we're dealing with. So if you want to overcome addiction, you have to learn how to connect the brain and the heart and the things that are manifest from the brain, that comes from the mind. You have to learn that this is an achieving machine. If you need help, if you're chemically unbalanced, then you need to seek help. A lot of us are unbalanced mentally, but we won't seek help. We need help, family. If you need my help, once again, snfchildren at gmail.com. Let's talk about it. Let's work it out. Let's get it done so you can live a more healthy life. Let's make sure that our inner being, that we are connected. A lot of us are disconnected from ourselves, so we have no power. Our power comes from within us. We're reaching out and looking out for something to help us. Well, it's already in you. Now you just have to learn how to manifest and bring what's in you out. We got to address mental health. So, how do you overcome addiction or addictions? It's real simple, family. Like I say, we are the complicated ones, but the process is simple. Learning how to connect the things that come from here, your brain, to the things that come from here, your heart. Being true to yourself, admitting that you have a problem, and then you'll begin to heal. Until then, you're going to keep drinking excessively. You're going to keep smoking excessively. You're going to keep eating. A lot of these things you're going to keep doing. You're going to keep self destructing. Facts. Until you learn how to address your mental health. Man, I hope that helps somebody. Once again, make sure you subscribe, family. Share this information because us in the Black community, we are struggling with our mental health and we are addicted to things that are destroying us. And we need to sit down either with someone or sit down with ourselves and admit, I have a problem, so I need to get some help, or I need to begin to learn how to connect my brain to my heart. Because whatever it is that you're doing, there's a cause, there's a reason, and there's a why. And it starts with your mind. If you need my help, family, once again, hit me up at snfchildren@gmail.com. And whatever that addiction is, let's handle it, family. It's time to take care of our mental health. Until the next time, peace.